How can I improve my revenue, my sales? How can I grow sales? Sales is a function of sales activity. Revenue doesn't happen because in a welding company they weld faster. Sales happens because people are spending time on the sales activities and the sales process. You can't expect to grow sales without putting effort into sales. Think about the business like a relay race. So the relay race begins when the business puts money into marketing. There's an investment made in marketing where there's an expected return from that, and that expected return is leads. After marketing, the leads are passed to sales, and those sales people will endeavour to convert those sales leads into purchase orders, and then for those purchase orders the operations team will take over and they will endeavour to fulfill those orders as well as they can to extract the most gross profit possible from them. And then operations completes the project, passes it on to accounting for billing. So generally there's 4 stages in a business that the relay race passes through to take a cash investment in marketing to output into ideally a greater return on that investment at the end that can then go to dividends and taxes and a whole range of things and then come all the way back over to marketing. In between these, we've got, first of all, the output of marketing, which is the inquiry rate. Then as we move to sales, we've got the output of sales, which is the conversion rate. So the number of leads or inquiries that they've dealt with and what percentage of those that they have converted. Then when it moves on to operations, it's the productivity rate. What is the percentage of labour that was expended to realise that gross profit? And then in accounting, it's the collection rate. So the inquiry rate, the conversion rate, the productivity rate, and the collection rate. That is the 4 parts of that relay race. To improve revenue, we have to have an adequate effort in marketing that's outputting the correct inquiry rate or the correct number of leads. And then we've got to have the right conversion rate with the sales team. So we have to have enough salespeople who are each converting at the correct amount to achieve the gross profit and revenue targets that the business needs to sustain itself and to grow. If we don't have enough salespeople, if each salesperson is going to sell $300,000 each, let's say, per month, and we're 4 salespeople down out of a sales team of 10, it's probably unrealistic to get the other people, or very difficult to get the other people to fill that gap because they're trying to make their own quotas. So we have to have enough salespeople, each of who are converting at the right percentage to achieve the total gross profit target for the company for each month. And then obviously we've got to go and push that through operations to get effective and efficient production. The relay race looks a little like this. So we begin with marketing. There is investment made in marketing, and from that creates leads, which the leads go to sales. Sales convert those leads, so it's conversion rate, taking it to operations. Operations will complete the work, hopefully in the time and the profit that is allowed, and then the billings are passed to accounting, who outputs money, some of which goes all the way back to the beginning to invest back in marketing. Then what happens between? How are each of those measured? Well, for marketing, it's the inquiry rate. So for marketing, it's the inquiry rate. For sales, it's the conversion rate. For operations, it's the productivity rate. And for accounting, it's the collection rate. These are the 4 ways. And then after that, what we're saying is there are 2 key metrics within that. So when passing it from marketing to sales, it's about the quality and the quantity of leads. And then when passing it from sales to operation, it's the gross profit percentage and the quantity of money. Then when passing it from operations to accounting, it's the time, so that the time aligns with the billing needs of the business for wages and materials. So are we billing people at a time where we're not going to affect cash? Are we billing them in a timely manner? That means we can pay our bills as well. And the quantity, so we need to have sufficient billings. We need to have sufficient billings to be able to pay our bills. If we don't have sufficient billings because production hasn't produced enough, we're going to be in trouble. They need to be at the right time, and it needs to be the right amount. Then the output of accounting is again the time and the quantity. And the time is, are we collecting in time to be able to pay our bills? And are we collecting a quantity that enables us to be able to pay our bills and keep the company going? So that looks like this. So between marketing and sales, we need to have quality of leads, and we need to have a quantity of leads. We need to have the right kind of leads in the right numbers that the sales team can work with. Then between sales and operations, we need to have the right gross profit percentage, the right amount of gross profit that operations can do the job and have sufficient money left over to be able to fund the business. And we also need to have a quantity of dollars that will enable us to be able to fund the business. Between operations and accounting, it is the time and the quantity of dollars, similar to that one. So operations needs to complete the work ready for billing at a quantity that will enable us to fund the business and keep the business running, and a time which enables we're going to be able to bill and collect the money to be able to pay our wages and to be able to pay our materials and any other bills that are happening. If time blows out because operations aren't completing quick enough, we've got a problem. Then for accounting, it's about the collection rate. So that is, again, the time and the quantity. So the time it takes to collect, are we collecting at 30 days or 90 days? And then the quantity that we are collecting. Because if we're collecting at 30 days, but it's all of the smallest bills and the bulk of our bills are blowing way out by 90 days, we've got some real problems. Once we understand these 4 stages of marketing, sales, operation, accounting, we come back to the original question, which is, how can I increase revenue? Well, you've got to have the right number of salespeople, and you've got to have each of those at the right conversion rate. How do we increase the conversion rate of people in line with the original question? Well, not all salespeople were created equally, unfortunately. Some people have a much greater capability of selling than others, and what we need to do is identify who are those people who are capable of becoming great salespeople, or who are with the right training, coaching, holding them accountable, mentoring, all of the key things that a sales manager should be doing. With all of the efforts around that in the right manner, which of those people will go on to consistently achieve their budget? Assuming, of course, that the budget is fair. So within sales, in that relay race, build a 4-stage sales process is the simplest way to put it. So we've got a 4-stage process around this, and I'm going to give you a very brief overview. So getting to stage 1 is a suspect, getting to stage 2 is a prospect, getting to stage 3 is someone who's fully qualified, and then getting to stage 4 is closing the deal or making the sale. So if we go back to suspect, with a suspect, we believe that this person we can do business with, and we have a meeting with that person. So therefore, it's very on or off, like very digital. We definitely have a meeting with this person, and we believe, given all the information that we've got, that they will do business with us. Then we get to stage 2, which is a prospect. So we understand the emotional needs of the buyer. We understand the problem that they're trying to solve. We understand why they're going to buy, and we've differentiated ourselves against the competition. Only once we've done those things can we then classify an opportunity as a prospect. Once someone is a prospect, then we work to get them fully qualified, and they're only fully qualified when we know who's going to make the decision, when they're going to make the decision, how much money they're going to spend, and any other criteria in the decision-making process. So after we've gone through suspect and prospect, we get to qualified when we know all of those things, because a lot of people skip those two. They go straight from a suspect to trying to sell, to trying to close the deal. Only when you know who's making the decision, how much they want to spend, all of the decision-making factors, the emotional reasons to buy, you've differentiated yourself. Only once you know all of those things is it actually possible to be able to start the process of selling. And that's what massively affects conversion rate, because someone says, hi, I'm a widget seller, my widgets cost $100 each, would you like to buy? But that's not selling, that's just endeavoring to transact. They'll still make a few sales, but they're not going to get a great return on that. Once we've got a person to the third stage of qualified, that's when we can present, and that's when we can begin to talk about price, and that's when we can talk about how our product meets the needs of that potential customer. But we can't do that until we fully understand everything about the customer. And then so we present, and then it meets their needs. And ideally at that point, the customer's saying, this is exactly what I need. Can we just hurry up and get on and I can buy from you? The point is, unless you're doing all of those things beforehand, you're not really selling, and you're going to have a massive impact on your conversion rate. Without a fully qualified, staged sales process where a salesperson and a sales manager can fight about whether this person is at stage 1 or stage 2 or stage 2 or stage 3, you're not going to be able to really trust as an entrepreneur. You're really not going to be able to, or a manager, you're not going to be able to trust where a prospect is, and therefore trust the efforts of the salespeople, rather than them just having a gut go at, yeah, I think we're going to win that one, or I think we're not going to win that one. Having a staged process significantly impacts conversion rate. So we've got to have the right number of salespeople achieving budget at the right conversion rate. So that if we go back to this, the efforts of the marketing team and the money that we put into marketing to create leads, we're capitalizing on those opportunities. They've got to be the right quantity and the right quality for the salespeople to work on. But with discipline around a sales process, only then can we significantly impact our revenues. Don't forget to take a look at my website. Don't forget to subscribe and take a look at my online training. Thanks for watching.